up for school completely unprepared? It's AJ's turn to give an International Day presentation, and our next part of Mrs. Barr Has Gone Too Far from the My Weirderist School series. I'm Miss Melissa at the Trout Freed Library. This was written by Dan Gutman, illustrated by Jim Paylott, and published by Harper's. AJ, AJ, everybody chanted. He comes to the front of the room. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. You did do research on a country, didn't you? Asked Mrs. Barr. Sure I did, I lied. Everybody was staring at me. It was the worst moment of my life. Don't you have any notes, AJ? Asked Mrs. Barr. No, I memorized everything. Impressive, said Mr. Cooper. Please begin, AJ. I am the president of Florgistan, I said. It was the first thing I could think of. I've never heard of Florgistan, said Mrs. Barr, and I've been all over the world. We are a brand new country, I explained. We just started last week. Go on, Mr. President, said Mr. Cooper. Florgistan is a beautiful country, I said, with lots of trees and animals and food. I made up a bunch of stuff about Florgistan. I told everybody the national bird is the hummingbird. The national food is chicken tacos. They have lots of kangaroos and yaks. I just said whatever popped into my mind. There are no nerds in Florgistan, I said, looking at Andrea. Do you know how skate parks usually close at sundown? Well, in Florgistan, they stay open all night. Fascinating, said Mrs. Barr. Would you like to see the Florgistan national dance, I asked. Yeah, everybody shouted. I made up a totally dumb dance, jumping around and waving my arms in the air. Everybody was nodding their heads. What a bunch of dumb heads. It looked like they were actually buying it. Well, everyone except Andrea. Are we allowed to ask questions? She said. Certainly, said Mrs. Barr. That's how we learn. Where is Florgistan located, Mr. President? Andrea said. Then she smiled, the smile she smiles when she knows somebody doesn't know something. Florgistan, I said, is a small island off the coast of Manitoba. I made that up too. Oh, yeah? Said Andrea. And what language do you speak in Florgistan? It's a very beautiful language, I told her. We speak Florgistanian. Uh-huh, said Andrea. Is there a Florgistan national anthem? Oh, yeah, I said. Would you like to sing the Florgistan national anthem for us? Asked Mrs. Barr. Oh, gee. I don't know, I said. Come on, AJ, said Andrea. Sing the Florgistan national anthem for us. Sing it, sing it, sing it, everybody chanted. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. I had to think fast. So I sang the first thing that came into my mind. Oh, give me a home where the kangaroos roam and the yak and the hummingbird play, where seldom is heard from a dweeb or a nerd, and the skate parks stay open all day. Home, home in Florgistan. That sounds a lot like home on the range, said Mr. Cooper. Yeah, I told him Florgistan is such a new country, we haven't had time to write our national anthem yet. Andrea looked like she was about to explode. There's no country called Florgistan, she yelled. I just looked it up on my smartphone. AJ's making all this stuff up. I am not, I yelled. R2, R2D2, I yelled. We went on like that for a while. Oh, yeah, I finally said. Well, as president of Florgistan, I declare war on Norway. As the queen of Norway, Andrea said, I declare war on Florgistan. I'm on Norway's side, said Emily. I'm on Florgistan's side, shouted Alexia. And that's how World War III began. After school, the gang and I decided to hang around on the playground for a while before going home. Andrea and Emily came over to bother us, of course. They couldn't stop talking about Mrs. Barr. Mrs. Barr is so cool, said Andrea. She's traveled all over the world. When I grow up, I want to be a globetrotter like her, said Emily. No way, I told her. You don't even play basketball. I don't care. I'm going to keep using that joke until somebody laughs at it. Very funny, AJ, said Andrea. It must be nice to have a job where you get to travel all the time, said Ryan. That's not a job, I said. Mrs. Barr isn't getting paid. If you don't get paid, it's not a job. Then how does she earn a living? Asked Michael. Beats me, said Neil. I'm sad that tomorrow's Mrs. Barr's last day at our school, said Andrea. Not me, I said. What do you have against Mrs. Barr? Asked Neil. Yeah, she's a nice lady. I'd given this a lot of thought. Ever since Mrs. Barr walked into our classroom, there was something about her that bothered me. That lady's no geography teacher, I announced. She didn't even know what the word geography meant till Andrea told her. She never said she was a geography teacher, AJ, said Andrea. She's just someone who Mr. Cooper met on his trip to Spain. Yeah, that's right, I agreed. She's just a stranger. I'll tell you what I think. Mrs. Barr is a phony. She's probably a criminal. What? Everybody said. Are you crazy, AJ? Asked Ryan. Look, I explained. Do you know why Mrs. Barr travels all over the world? It's probably because she's on the run from the cops. She's probably a jewel thief. That's just nuts, AJ, said Michael. Oh, yeah, I said. What about all that jewelry she wears? I bet it's stolen. That's why she doesn't have a job. She probably stashes her stolen jewels in that suitcase. That suitcase she rolls around all the time. AJ, are you feeling okay? Asked Andrea. Maybe you need to talk to Dr. Brad. Dr. Brad is our school counselor. Kids can talk to him if they have problems, but I don't have any problems. Think about it, I said. Mrs. Barr loves wearing masks. Do you know who else wears masks? Who? Everybody asked. Robbers, I said. People who steal stuff. That's ridiculous, AJ, said Andrea. Mrs. Barr's a world traveler. She's trying to help us learn geography. She's not even getting paid. She's teaching us out of the goodness of her heart. You should be thanking her instead of calling her a criminal. Yeah, well, I don't trust her, I said. Dude, every time a new grown-up comes to our school, you say you don't trust them, said Ryan. You say they're an imposter. Sometimes people are who they say they are. Yeah, said Neil. Sometimes people do nice things just because they're nice people. Hey, you don't have to believe me, I told them. Good, because I don't, said Ryan. Even my best friends were ganging up on me. I went home by myself. The next day was Friday. After we pledged the allegiance, Mr. Cooper told us to turn to page 23 in our math books. That's when an announcement came over the loudspeaker. Crackle, crackle, crackle. Mr. Cooper, please send AJ to Dr. Brad's office. Ooh, everybody, ooh. Announcements over the loudspeaker are not always good news. We'll find out next time on Book Bites from the Oosterhout Free Library.